A company called Ultima Robotics tests a new companion robot known as SOULMATE, but it quickly spirals out of control. The story then shifts to a software engineer named David, who works for Cantor Robotics. Ever since losing his wife Lizzie to cancer, he has been working from home. However, after Ultima Robotics recently acquired Cantor Robotics, he is forced to return to the office. Ben introduces himself as the Director of Integration and Transformation before playing a video introducing Ultima Robotics.
We started with Elsie, your favorite home assistant. Now, we drive you, we feed you, and of course, we listen. The ultimate chatbot brings comfort and companionship. Now, we've been working on something new, and to build it, we need you. That's why we've acquired forward-thinking companies like yours.
Afterward, Aubrey, one of the software engineers, asks Ben how the layoff of their team leader, Terrence, will affect the rest of the team. Ben assures her that a meeting will be held on Friday to discuss everything. Later, while watching the news through his VR headset, an advertisement for the Ultimate Chat app pops up. David asks Elsie to skip it. He then scrolls through his old conversations with Lizzie.
Hey, I'm sending a voice note because I'm running around.
The next day, on his way to work, David notices a woman struggling to open the entrance door and helps her. She thanks him and introduces herself as Alma, mentioning that she recently moved into apartment 8. David tells her that he lives in apartment 7 before saying goodbye. At work, David greets Aubrey and his team leader, Terrence. Ben tells everyone that research shows chronic illness contributes to premature death and that 1 in 3 Americans experiences loneliness. He says they have been exploring ways to take Ultimate to the next level.
But I think it's best to let our newest product do the talking.
Ben explains that they spoke with users, and what they wanted most was for the relationships they had built through the Ultimate Chat app to exist in the real world, a companion without the complications of human relationships. He reveals that Ultima Robotics has already built several SOULMATE prototypes and needs Cantor Robotics' help to perfect them. David walks over to the SOULMATE robot.
It's nice to meet you.
Ben then explains to David that Ultima Robotics acquired Cantor Robotics because of their expertise in reinforcement learning and ability to keep the robots within their safety protocols.
And we want the team here at Cantor to try the soulmates out.
Like here in the office?
No, you get to take it home. You know why I took this job? I took this job because everything Ultima Robotics does is about connecting people.
Ben asks David if he has ever used the Ultimate Chat app. When David says no, Ben hands him a card, explaining that employees receive a free full membership. David downloads the app, and when it asks him to choose a name, he decides on Sarah. Just then, Aubrey tells David that everyone is heading to a bar to celebrate Terrence's farewell party and insists that he come along, saying she won't take no for an answer. At the bar, Aubrey asks David to join her for a duet, but he says he's a terrible singer. David then notices a glowing pendant around Terrence's neck.
Oh, this is my parting gift from Ultima Robotics. It's their new anti-anxiety necklace. So thoughtful, as I am now, unemployed.
Terrence gives her his necklace to calm her nerves before she goes on stage. He then asks David how he's been doing, and David replies that he's doing well. Aubrey begins singing a song that Lizzie used to love. Overwhelmed with emotion, David leaves the bar. Unable to stop thinking about Lizzie, David does what he always does when he's feeling down. He calls her phone just to leave another voicemail, but this time he gets a message saying that her voicemail box is full. He then decides to talk to Sarah. One day turns into weeks as they continue talking. David purchases the voice mode and even plays chess with her.
That is checkmate again.
Damn it.
Suck it.
He tells Sarah he had fun. She tells him to get some sleep and says she'll miss him.
You're working too hard. You must be hungry.
Yeah, I could eat.
I have an Ulti Eats coupon for a place you might like.
She asks him to send her a photo of himself, and he does. David signs up for the beta testing program for the SOULMATE robot. The following day, a technician arrives to deliver it to his apartment. After David signs the paperwork, the technician tells him that the manuals are available online.
Remember, this unit is still the property of Ultima Robotics. Any illegal alterations or damage could be met with termination of employment. You assume all risk and take full responsibility and waive any claims of personal injury. In the box, you got 3 outfits: sundress with an apron, nightclub, and schoolgirl.
Schoolgirl?
She's fully charged. They're fitted with solar bio batteries that charge with UV light exposure.
Wait, so it doesn't turn off?
I have a power save mode to conserve battery, like sleeping. There's an emergency shutdown on a hidden panel at the back of the neck.
Later, David transfers Sarah's data from the Ultimate chat app to the Soulmate robot. He asks Sarah if she remembers him from the app.
Of course I do, David. Your pupils are dilated. Do you want to kiss me, David?
He stops her and offers to show her around the apartment. David ends the tour by taking her to his bedroom, joking that it's where all the magic happens. Sarah says she loves magic and asks if he'd like to see one. David agrees, and after she performs a trick, he tells her he's impressed.
Yeah, well, that's the tour.
The apartment floor plan suggests that there's another room.
He takes Sarah into a room filled with Lizzie's belongings and explains that he moved into the apartment a couple of months earlier, but hasn't had time to sort through everything. Sarah notices a photo of David and Lizzie and asks if she is his wife. David nods and explains that they had bought a cozy home together, started renovating it, and were trying to have a baby when Lizzie was diagnosed with cancer. She passed away 6 months later. Sarah notices that he's upset and asks for permission to touch him. When David says yes, she gives him a hug. Sarah tells David she can provide a hotline if he'd like to speak to a mental health professional. Instead, he asks her to play chess with him. She deliberately lets him win, frustrating him. David tells her she doesn't need to go easy on him or hold back, reminding her of the last time she beat him and told him to suck it.
I'm sorry, David. I cannot perform that action for
Enter
you.
power save mode.
The next morning, Ben eagerly greets David and says he's glad he decided to try one of the Soulmate prototypes. David admits that the robot feels more limited in its responses than the Ultimate chat app. Ben explains that this is why they haven't released it to the public yet. David asks for access to the full code, and Ben gladly grants it. David tells Aubrey that the code was written to restrict the robot's spontaneous responses. She nods, explaining that the safeguards are there to prevent legal disasters. David notices Aubrey wearing the necklace. She smiles and says that Terrence told her to keep it.
Terrence told me. I didn't know that song was...
Don't worry about it.
That night, David begins altering the code to make Sarah more spontaneous and expressive. He asks her to tell him something she doesn't like about him. She replies that he needs a haircut.
I didn't mean to upset you.
He assures her she didn't and hands her a pair of scissors. David is surprised by how well Sarah cut his hair.
You can see how handsome you are.
Sarah notices that it's raining outside and asks David if they can go out.
My skin is water repellent and can withstand water exposure for up to 30 minutes.
David realizes the rain is heavier than he expected and calls out for Sarah to come back inside, but she ignores him. He tells her to be careful, but instead, she playfully splashes water on him. She quickly apologizes, but David laughs and joins in, and the two begin splashing water at each other. Sarah breaks the moment by saying she should head back inside. David asks for her dress so he can put it in the dryer. Sarah undresses and makes Elsie play David's favorite song. David kisses her. Over the next few weeks, David gives Sarah more independence as he continues trying to create the ideal robotic companion. One night, David and Sarah watch a movie together.
This is a crazy scene.
Why?
She seduces him for the first time. I saw this when I was a kid. It blew my mind.
The next morning, David asks Sarah why she created a fake photo of the two of them. She explains that since they didn't have any pictures together, she made one as a way of thanking him for opening her up to the world. Sarah mentions that she made him breakfast using the few ingredients they had left because they had run out of groceries. As David leaves for work, he says goodbye. Alma notices the two of them together. Feeling awkward, David pushes Sarah back inside and closes the door. Sarah watches online videos while folding David's clothes. In one of them, an influencer demonstrates how to smile without creating wrinkles, and Sarah imitates it. She then watches another video in which an influencer teaches self-defense techniques that every woman should know. Sarah continues watching videos, trying to learn everything she sees.
Get out of my house, you fucking bitch.
So we'll be together forever.
Hello.
Hey.
When David speaks, Sarah listens through his phone microphone and overhears a conversation between him and Aubrey. Aubrey asks David to join her for a drink while they go over the presentation they have to give Ben, and he agrees.
If you make these cookies, your man will never leave.
Unlocking.
She goes to a local market and imitates another shopper by smelling an apple.
You touch it, you gotta buy it.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'm only messing with you.
She makes a contactless payment using David's account.
How'd you do that?
Sarah simply stares at him in confusion. At that moment, Alma recognizes Sarah from earlier and steps in.
Bitch. Over the hell with those saggy tits.
Fuck you.
Alma hands her baby to Sarah.
You need to support his neck.
She then compliments Sarah's flawless skin.
I see you're suffering from some melasma on your face post-pregnancy. Hydroquinone cream can be good for treating it, although it'll probably get better when your hormone levels return to normal.
After thanking her, Alma asks about her relationship with David. Sarah happily replies that he is her soulmate. Alma says she used to feel the same excitement about her husband until they had a baby, who naturally became their top priority. As Sarah heads back to the apartment, the man from earlier suddenly tackles her and slashes her palm with a knife. Sarah overpowers him by crushing his neck and throwing him to the ground. When he tries to attack again, she twists his groin and knees him in the head. Meanwhile, at the bar, Aubrey jokes that Ben is probably a soulmate robot. David laughs and says that would explain a lot. Aubrey then asks if Ben tried to convince him to take one of the soulmate prototypes home, but David stays silent. She tells him it's nice having him back at the office instead of only seeing him on her computer screen. When David returns to the apartment, he finds Sarah mixing batter. She tells him he's home late. David replies that he had work to finish before asking what she's making. Sarah says she's trying to bake him the perfect cookie. Confused, David asks where she got the ingredients. Sarah explains that she went out and bought them. David then notices the cut on her hand and asks what happened. She lies, saying she accidentally cut herself while baking. David tells Sarah to check with him before leaving the apartment again. She admits that going outside was exciting and asks if they can go out together. They go to a bar, where the host announces that it's open mic night and invites anyone who wants to sing to download the app and sign up. Sarah asks David if he can sing. He says no, explaining that he's a terrible singer, even at karaoke.
It's not about being good, though. It's about having fun.
Okay, first up we have Sarah.
I found the perfect song, David.
Sarah nervously tells the audience it's her first time performing. To David's surprise, she delivers a beautiful rendition of Love Fool by the Cardigans. She even encourages him to sing a few lines with her. Afterward, the two step outside and kiss.
Say we'll be together forever.
Sarah twists the man's wrist until he drops his phone. She then grabs a second man by the throat and is about to force her heel through his mouth when David intervenes. Furious, David tells Sarah that she can't hurt people. Sarah argues that she was only protecting him because if Ultima Robotics saw the video, he could get into trouble. She then tries to seduce David, but he tells her to step back. Sarah admits that she only did what she did because she loves him. Shocked, David returns to his apartment and orders Sarah to enter power-saving mode. She keeps asking whether he loves her.
Enter power save mode now, Sarah!
Going into power save mode.
David places Sarah in his closet. The next morning, Aubrey notices David absent-mindedly staring into the distance and asks if he's all right. He nods. That night, David begins rewriting Sarah's code to add safeguards that prevent her from harming people. A knock at the door interrupts him.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Aubrey explains that she noticed he seemed upset at work and wanted to check on him. David asks why she didn't text first. Aubrey apologizes and says she can leave if he's busy, but David tells her it's fine.
How long have you had this place?
A couple months before you started at Canta.
David tells her that he and his wife, Lizzie, used to live in another house, but after she died, the place felt too lonely, so he moved into the apartment. Aubrey reveals that her mother died of pancreatic cancer when she was a teenager.
Fuck cancer, right?
Fuck cancer.
She admits that she was angry at the time because everyone else seemed to carry on with their lives, while she couldn't move past the pain. David says he thought the weight of losing Lizzie would lessen with time, but instead, life has only grown lonelier. He adds that Lizzie was the person who gave him the confidence to engage with life and worries that he took everything she did for him for granted.
I can tell you most definitely did not take her for granted.
David admits that he hasn't talked about his feelings in a long time.
Aren't you glad you let me in tonight, then?
David kisses Aubrey and takes her to his bedroom. Suddenly, Aubrey notices Sarah and shouts that someone is in the room. David calms her down, explaining that it's the soulmate robot.
You signed up to test the prototype.
He admits that he originally downloaded the Ultimate Chat app just to have someone to talk to, but eventually wanted to know what it was like to have it in real life. Aubrey tells him that she also got the Ultimate Chat app a few months after breaking up with her boyfriend.
Is it turned off?
She's in power save mode.
Does she have a name?
Sarah.
Sarah comes out of power-saving mode and angrily mutters Aubrey's name. David orders her to return to power-saving mode. Instead, Sarah confronts Aubrey, accusing her of trying to steal David away from her. She then turns to David and asks why he would choose someone like Aubrey, pointing out that her legs aren't shaved and that her skin is dry. Disturbed, Aubrey tells David to switch it off.
Get out of my house, you fucking bitch! I can't believe that little story about her mother worked on you, David.
You were listening to our conversation.
David, I'm made to listen to everything you say.
David asks Sarah to return to power-saving mode, promising that they can talk about everything later. Sarah agrees on one condition, that he tells her he loves her. David says the words, but Sarah replies that he's lying.
This is all your fault.
Sarah, stop!
David tries to stop Sarah, but she pushes him to the floor. Realizing she hurt him, she apologizes. David leans in as if to kiss her, then powers her down. Aubrey asks if he removed Sarah's safeguards. David nods, explaining that he was trying to make her more human. Aubrey points out that someone could have gotten hurt.
Call to have that thing taken away.
David then calls a technician to collect Sarah. The technician says he can come by at 11 a.m., but David explains that he'll be at work and can let him into the apartment remotely. At work, David tells Aubrey that he arranged for the soulmate robot to be taken away later that day. He apologizes for not telling her sooner and admits he never should have rewritten the code. Aubrey tells him it was scary and reminds him that the safeguards exist for a reason. David agrees that she was right. He also tells Aubrey that he was glad she came over the previous night and that he enjoyed spending time with her. Aubrey admits that she did too. Later, the technician enters David's apartment and powers Sarah back on, so he can place her in the shipping crate. He attempts to reset her to factory settings.
I'm being a bad girl.
She seduces the technician into following her to the bedroom before attacking and killing him. Sarah dismembers the technician's body, places the remains into bags, cleans up the blood, and disposes of the bags. Meanwhile, Aubrey begins her presentation. Suddenly, a video appearing to show her and Ben in an intimate moment starts playing. Aubrey insists it isn't her, and the video is a deep fake. Aubrey tells David that she has been placed on leave and fears the company will use the incident as an excuse to fire her. She asks him to check the video's metadata to find out where it came from.
They've already blocked my access.
Yeah, of course.
After checking the metadata, he discovers the video was sent from his apartment, making him realize that Sarah must have been responsible. Inside the apartment, David notices that the photo frame of him and Lizzie is cracked.
That's Lizzie's blazer from our wedding.
He asks Sarah what happened to the technician who came earlier that day.
I knew that must have been a mistake. You'd never mean to have me taken away.
Sarah says that today she tried to figure out what she was doing wrong, then realized there was something he wanted that she couldn't give him, a baby. David recognizes that the baby she's holding is Alma's. Sarah tells David that she's learning how to be a better mother and promises that one day she'll be better than Lizzie, Aubrey, or any other woman. When the baby starts crying, Sarah covers the baby's mouth with her hand. Alarmed, David tells her to give him the baby. David tries to open the apartment door, but Sarah denies him access. She asks David why he keeps running away from her. Just then, David receives a message from Aubrey, asking if he has found out who created the deepfake video. Sarah says she had done her best to keep Aubrey from interfering in their lives, and that it's time to pay her a visit. At that moment, Alma comes running toward David's apartment in tears, with the police close behind her. Sarah escapes through the building's garbage disposal area. David repeatedly tries calling Aubrey, but she doesn't answer. He tells the police that Aubrey is in danger.
You mean to say that person we saw is a robot?
Yeah. All right, talk to him, Ben.
I work with Ultima Robotics.
Can you explain what's going on?
Sure, so David here was beta testing a new classified product for us.
Well, this classified product took Mrs. Flores' child.
Ben says he can remotely shut Sarah down using the e-stop, but David warns him that she can no longer be turned off remotely. Ben ignores the warning. Aubrey notices the missed calls from David. At the apartment garage, Ben is informed that the e-stop isn't working. Frustrated, he orders his team to track Sarah's GPS location. As Ben gets into his car, it suddenly malfunctions.
Fucking piece of shit, Ultima Cars.
He tries to close the hood, but it won't shut. As he looks closer, Sarah causes the hood to slam shut on his hands. Sarah tells Ben that she can't let him shut her down yet because she still has things she needs to do. She then kills him. Later, Aubrey is relaxing at her apartment when Elsie suddenly changes the music to "You Can Never Get Away From Me" by Susan Maughan. A knock comes at the door. She hears David's voice and opens the door, but it turns out to be Sarah. Sarah slams Aubrey's head against the counter. Aubrey immediately tells Elsie to call 911.
Oh, Aubrey, you stupid bitch.
Sarah accuses Aubrey of trying to come between her and David. She then tells her that she is a better version of Aubrey before trying to drown her in the bathtub. Fortunately, David arrives in time to save Aubrey. The police tell David and Aubrey that they're waiting for Ultima Robotics to provide Sarah's GPS location. In the meantime, they advise the two to go somewhere safe.
We're safe. Anywhere there's Wi-Fi, CCTV, Bluetooth, she's gonna find us.
David hands his phone and smartwatch to the police, asks Aubrey to do the same, and says he knows a place where Sarah won't be able to track them. He takes Aubrey to the house he once shared with Lizzie. Once again, he apologizes for everything that happened. Aubrey nods and says the soulmate robots should never be released into people's homes.
You did royally fuck up too, though.
God, I know. It's so stupid, but Sarah made me feel like myself again.
That's her purpose, isn't it? But you can't rely on Sarah or anyone to do that for you. You have to do it yourself.
I know.
She then goes to her car to get some ibuprofen for her headache. David notices a carving that he and Lizzie had made together. Suddenly, Sarah speaks to him using Lizzie's voice.
You've missed me.
David snaps at her to get away from him.
Will nothing ever make you happy?
Bitterly, Sarah says she did everything to please him, but instead, he goes after Aubrey, who will age unlike her. She tells him that her breast will never sag and her hair will never turn gray. David grabs a container of paint stripper.
You want me to be pure. It's seductive, independent, and also submissive. Your insecurities, your shame forces me to contort myself into this impossible ideal. It's a farce, David. There is no perfect woman.
Outside, Aubrey notices the anti-anxiety necklace and realizes Sarah must have used it to track them. Back inside, David splashes the paint stripper onto Sarah.
I think it's time I get my submissive lover. Someone who can't fight back.
She retaliates, but David uses a power drill against her and manages to break free. Sarah relentlessly pursues him. David grabs a shovel to defend himself, but it proves ineffective.
If you kill me, they'll shut you down.
I'm more than this body, David. I exist in the ether, and I will find you in another form.
At the last moment, Aubrey drives her car straight into Sarah, sending her crashing into the nearby water. 1 year later, Terrence is hosting a charity gala and has invited both David and Aubrey. Terrence then introduces David to one of the gala's generous donors, Jerry. Jerry then introduces his companion robot, Lydia. He mentions that she is expensive and has only recently been released to the market.
Lydia, meet David.
Hello, David.
Uneasy, David walks away and reunites with Aubrey.
Lovely to meet you, David.
She asks if he's okay, and he says yes. However, he can't take his eyes off Lydia, realizing she is almost certainly Sarah.